The Dramatist Guild is the National Association of Playwrights, Composers, Lyricists, and Librettists. For the first time in a generation, our industry is undergoing a tectonic shift. If you're not a member, join today. Learn more at our website.
Hello, and welcome to the Dramatist Live. My name is Joey Stocks. I'm the editor of The Dramatist and the director of publications for the Dramatist Guild. I'm thrilled for the fourth week in a row to have my co-hosts, Amanda Green and Christine Toy Johnson, both of whom are on the Dramatist Guild Council, and they both sit on our publications committee. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How's it going?
Christine?
Well, much better than I was a week ago when I reported that I was feeling a little crazy. But Amanda, I wanted to tell you that I really took your words to heart. You know, I last week I told you that I had been writing this short musical with Bobby Cronin, and I decided it was terrible, and I kind of went and didn't throw it away, and that I did not delete it, but I decided to put it on the proverbial shelf. And you know what you said to me?
What did I say to you?
Tell us. I need to hear it too.
Well, and I believe that you got this from another collaborator because I saw it on Twitter later, but you said writing is writing. It has to be messy before it gets neat.
Before it gets clean. That's right.
Clean. Okay, right?
That's right. It's got to get messy before it gets clean.
Okay,
absolutely.
So I thought about that. Well, Amanda Green, you know, goddess and person that you want to listen to. So it's true.
Go on.
And so I sort of let that percolate and thought maybe I should free myself of the kind of judgment that I had put on myself. And it kind of cleared my brain, and I was able to get a new window into the piece. I did a bunch of rewrites. I took everything apart and rewrote it, and I'm really happy with it now. So thank you for inspiring me.
Oh, that's great! Yay! Yeah, I'm working on something, and it's kind of in the sucky phase too. I mean, but I sort of no. Not anything. I mean, I've been writing the song, and it's now 8 minutes long, which is not good for a song in the middle of the show. It's not good for any song, really.
A long song, yeah.
But we're just sort of like that. My collaborator and I are kind of rolling with it, and I was like, all right, well, we'll go back and and I've weeded through it, and parts of it are still terrible, but we're like, well, that'll be better, So I agree, and self-judgment is also it can stop you because it can be sucky before it gets good. You gotta let yourself can be less than perfect, or sometimes it's great when it rolls out and you go, oh my god, what a pearl, but it doesn't happen a lot.
So anyway, thank you. I want to report on that.
I love that.
I felt really
good about that too. I love that too. Yeah, I happen to be this is a weird segue, but it does kind of tie into this. I happen to be I'm going to moderate a roundtable of light workers on Saturday. Light workers being the catch-all term for psychics and tarot readers. And I've never done this before.
Oh, wow.
But I'm super curious, and I think that's all that I need to be. I don't know anything. But we were trying to come up with a title for this thing, and my friend who is the one who's basically putting the entire thing together, kept asking me, and so yesterday I kept texting her the worst ideas that came to my mind. They were all terrible, every one of them awful and ridiculous and hilarious and inappropriate and all those things, until finally I think we've hit upon one. She told me she'd selected something, and anyway, you just gotta just be willing to be terrible.
Yeah. Yes. Is this panel something that the public can watch, or?
Yeah,
I'm fascinated. I would.
It's 11 a.m. on Saturday. I'll be posting it on my Facebook.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it'll be there. Anyway, but that's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're here for the fourth round of the Dramatist Live. So we had, I'm on full screen. That means I can't look at my notes, and I need to see them because it's super important. I won't know what I'm doing if I don't look. Yeah, we had some.
Everybody is well and staying indoors and is in okay spirits. It's a really, really, really tough time, and so we're just thinking of you. And if you're joining us,
absolutely here. Yes, I would like to debut the care package I just got from my sister a few minutes ago. She made my mask.
Oh boy!
Oh, is that gingham?
It is. It's an Easter mask.
I have mask envy. Wow.
Amazing.
That is beautiful.
Wait, she sewed floral wire in here and here so that I can mold it to my face.
Wow, that's brilliant.
And on the back side, she made like a little duvet slit in the back, and she put a HEPA filter in it.
A what? A filter?
A HEPA filter.
Wow.
That takes out all the allergens and the bad stuff in the air.
And your sister is an interior designer, as I recall, right?
Yes, she's not a mask designer, contrary.
But that's pretty special. I also made myself a mask, but I don't have a sewing machine, so I had to hand stitch it.
Wow.
Took me several hours, but it's, it does the job, I think. It doesn't have a HEPA filter in it, but well, you do what you got to do.
I guess so. Yeah, I think she scavenged and took apart her vacuum cleaner to make that happen. So I'm thankful. I'm very
amazing.
grateful. Christine, would you tell us a little bit? We had a huge newsletter go out today to our guild members. Would you just tell our audience a couple of things? I just want to go over a couple of things that I think I sent you earlier.
You did. I'm sorry. I've got to look at my notes.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not.
No, it's okay. Well, one of the things that we're launching right now, and I think that the site is still completely open to the public. So I think everyone can see this. You're not just our current guild members. Mm-hmm. Is the new resource directory that we just launched.
Yeah, Joey, I'm so sorry that I'm failing you on the news. The resource directory and there you go, Terry. Hey, Terry. Thank you, Terry.
What's happening?
Terry is sharing the.
She's sharing the screen. Oh, and also, yes, I was really interested in this. Actually, I need to sign up for this webinar that's coming up, the Real Person in Your Play seminar that Ralph Sevish and who else is talking? Dave? Is Dave Folklad talking?
No, I don't think it's Dave. It's another attorney. I can't remember his name at this moment.
It's in your weekly newsletters.
Yes.
But first, we're going to talk about our new resource directory.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
You had one, Christine.
I know. As you can tell, I've gotten very comfortable with this role. So
this is a well-oiled machine. Can you all tell that we don't rehearse?
So the new resource directory. All right, take us through it, Terry.
Terry's just showing us the video that was linked in the newsletter. So this is going at like lightning speed. It's just sort of here with some stuff. It was meant to be playing in the background while we talk. And I think that's exactly what's happened. So well done. If you go to our website, there's a tab at the top that says resource directory. You simply click on that and it will give you all the information that we have about our new online resource directory. But since that newsletter came out today, I've been inundated with emails from people who are panicked that we don't still have a print edition of the resource directory. So that was where I was going to come back in and say, hey, we still have a print edition, but if you really want the best of the best, go to the online because that is updated daily.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is something.
It's robust, and it's been a great labor of love that Emmanuel Wilson has really spearheaded, and a lot of other people have had their hands on that too. So anyway, we're very grateful that it's there, and it is free for all Guild members. And for those people who don't like to organize their lives via a computer, we will still continue to manufacture resource directories in print.
Yeah.
And the new edition, we're hoping, fingers crossed, pandemic be gone. We'll hope to launch the newest print edition this fall.
Oh, that's great.
So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And another thing in the newsletter,
the
thing that you brought up, Christine, the Real Person in Your Play seminar, which is going to happen
Thursday,
April 16th at 4 p.m. Ralph Sevish will join. Go ahead, take it, Christine.
Oh no, I'm just reading it from my
Okay, he'll join attorney Lloyd Jasson to answer all your questions about putting a real person in your play. I did that with Hands on a Hardbody, and it was quite a trip.
Wow.
Do you need permission? What kind of release will you need? What is the difference between right of privacy and right of publicity? All of that stuff and more will be discussed.
That sounds fascinating.
It is absolutely fascinating. For Hands on a Hardbody, we did get their life rights. We did make a deal with the people who we wrote about.
That should be like an episode where we just talk to people like you, Amanda, who've done this crazy thing.
Well, I'm sure Ralph and Lloyd will have a lot to say.
Yes, I'm sure they will. Yes, so that'll be available, and I think Zach Turner, who's lurking online with us right now, is live tweeting for us tonight. Thank you, Zach. And I think he's going to tweet out the link to that webinar.
Great.
So if you go to the Dramatist Guild Twitter account, that should be there. That link should be there for those of you who can't find it in your newsletters. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Stuff. So I asked, we have a special guest tonight.
Sure do.
A friend of mine, and sorry, I'm looking at, oh, good, great. Not something I need to answer right this minute. We're going to be joined, I'll talk correctly in a minute, by my friend Dixie Longate, who has been on the road for a while with her show. She has 2 shows touring simultaneously. I don't know how she does it. And she's best known for her play Dixie's Tupperware Party, which I think holds the distinction of being the longest running off-Broadway national tour, going on 13 years and counting, although it's on hold and not counting at the moment, but hopefully that will be there. Dixie, are you there?
I sure am.
Oh, hi. We need to get your video activated so we can see your gorgeous face.
Oh, you turn on your.
There we go. All right.
There you go.
Hi.
Hi. There we go. How's everything? Y'all good?
Good.
Yeah. Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing a little cross stitch while I'm waiting to listen to y'all. It says everything's a dildo if you're brave enough. So just have to finish it.
It is so inspiring in these times. Thank you.
It's true. You need to find those things that inspire you and just really hit close to home. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just working my butts off. Yeah, because like you said, Joey, I had to take a time out. Not like when your kids are like, stop looking in mom's drawer that has the thing that has the batteries in it. Like not like that kind of time out, but like a regular time out, like, oh, don't gotta work. Like that. So doing what I can. So I'm at home with the kids at the trailer, doing my things, trying to keep them out of my hair. Oh, the Lord. And you know, there's that weird thing where you're like, I'm not good at math, but there's that thing where you're trying to look at how much chloroform to give the baby to keep them asleep for like the afternoon, but so that they like get up in time for dinner, but they're not sleepy like when the social worker shows up. Like it's a really fine line. So I'm trying to like learn that. It's all about learning. This is all about learning and just changing the way you do things.
It is, and you know, speaking of learning, I was trying to
community. It's about community too.
It is all about
You have the whole community can come over and tell you how much chloroform you use. But my community is not as smart because I live in the South. So I don't always take their ideas.
Dixie, I was trying to remember today. Do you remember when did we meet?
Okay, so I was hanging from this pole and you had your leg on the ceiling fan and you were spinning around because I turned on the light and you're spinning around, you're like, stop it. And so I'm like, I had to turn the light switch down so it would stop. And then you were like, I got a ham sandwich, which made me like, oh, I'll totally stop because I'm hungry. So it was like 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been furloughed from your show, Dixie?
So the last one I did was in, it was just over 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. We had just finished on March. Every day is the same day anymore. I can't even remember. It was like Sunday, March something. And
was it an odd show? Were people in masks already, or you know?
No, because it was like in the middle of Wisconsin or somewhere. I can't even remember. Missouri. And so it was weird because it hadn't really. Everybody was talking about it. People knew about it, but it hadn't really hit there yet. But I have a part of my show that I said, everybody grab hands, and it was definitely this weird thing of like, oh, what do I do that? And then I said, oh, just everybody rub elbows. But then rubbing elbows has a different connotation, especially if you're from the South and you live near a truck stop and they can do a thing on a trampoline, then it's different. So I had to be like, no, don't do that. But so it was, so I could already, you could already feel that things were changing because my show is very interactive, and so you could already feel that things were a little odd. But then after I got home, then really, everything started, just much worse, and everybody was really taking it seriously. And then which is weird because I know when I go back now and start doing it again, I'm probably going to have to just change some of the way I do things and rewrite certain passages to make it, what's happening in the world has absolutely changed the way we're going to do arts. And so you got to sort of accommodate that. And in my case, it means rewriting a piece of the show to be able to still be empowering and accommodating people, but also reflecting the new reality. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. How far out are you usually booked? I mean,
right now I'm booked out through the middle of 2021, but everything is changing now because normally, so the booking season would be like end of January through about the end of March would be like the booking season, and then everybody launches their Broadway. Season, but we were right in the middle of doing a bunch of negotiations for contracts and times and dates and everything, and then all of a sudden in the middle of it everything stopped because we all saw it coming, so everybody stopped. And so there's a lot of stuff that I have like, well, we're on hold for something, but it might not happen. And I'm supposed to be in Denver right now for 4 weeks. This is going to be the first of the 4-week run, and then we got bumped back till the summer, and then we just talked to them this week, and now they've bumped us back to the middle of next year. So things are still kind of all up in the air, and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be a different thing. This is going to be a challenge. This is not going to be over soon, and it also is not going to be like flip a switch on, everybody goes back to work. There's going to be a real change, and this is where it really takes the creative people in this business. It takes the creative people to really try to find the relationships that you have with the business people, with the people that know the business of theater, because in order for this to thrive and continue going, you really have to take those two sides, marry them together, and figure out what the next piece of this world is going to be, because it is going to be different. And, when we go back, people that used to have all this money and would be able to spend, $200-$300 on a theater ticket on Broadway won't have that money anymore. I'm having conversations right now with one of the theaters this summer, and they're saying we're expecting about 15% capacity. Okay, well, that really changes things. When you're used to 70, 80, 90% capacity, then you have to balance, all right, how can we afford to do this? We've got to make some real actual logistical, practical changes to make sure that everything works and everybody still can get paid their salary and all that. So it is a different thing. So it's about taking the people that know the business side of it and really encouraging them to say, come on over to the artistic side, tell us how you're doing what you're doing, and explain to us how we can master this, because at the end of this whole thing, we're going to have to come up with a whole new crop of stuff. The creativity is there. The people are creating stuff and doing amazing things. But now we're going to have to rely on the people that know the business to go, okay, now it's a different world that we're living in. How do we master this and do it effectively? So it's complicated. That's why I drank mostly and cross stitch. Yeah, mostly. I was making a drink the other day. How Girl Scouts always come out and they're like, buy my crap, and you're like, ugh, gross, get out of the Piggly Wiggly, because they're on both sides of Piggly Wiggly, so you can't get in without having to be like, You want trefoils? No, nobody wants trefoils. That's why I've got all the boxes left. Everybody's the Thin Mints and nobody wants a trefoil. Stop trying to shove them down my throat. And then, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make a Girl Scout martini yesterday, and I made a Thin Mint martini. It's so good. So I had it because I do a live happy hour every afternoon, like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. So like right after this, I'm gonna go do it on my Facebook page and be like, who wants to drink? And then I look for hands to go up. Usually my hands. I'm like, there it is. Okay, so I make myself a cocktail. And yesterday I made it, and they're like, oh, I made it, and then I read the instructions, says serves 4. I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I tried that to make sure that I was, I don't want to contaminate nobody. So I wanted to try it first, and it's so delicious. So then I had to make another one on the, and when I was doing my happy hour, and then that made 4 too. And then I noticed that there was a glitch in my thing, so that my internet kept kind of getting wobbly. So it cut out a bunch of the ingredients. So I was like, oh my God, I got to go on and make it again to make sure that everybody got the ingredients. So I had like 3 drinks last night. They're delicious. They're so good.
I was going to ask you.
Up with like a wrapper from Burger King in the back of my hair for no reason. Like I totally knew it was it.
I was going to ask you how.
Answer your question, Joey. I think I met you about 10 years ago. Wasn't that what we were talking about?
Yes. Christine's got a question for you.
Oh, I was just going to ask. I was thinking about how you are staying in touch with your fan base, and it sounds like the happy hour is a popular way to connect for many people.
Yeah.
And have you been doing that all along, or is it that a new thing since?
Well, it's funny. I've been talking about doing it for a long time, and then this sort of thrust itself upon me. So I was like, okay, I'm talking to people anyway. I'm fortunate enough to have a really nice, dedicated group of people that really want to play with me. So I use the live stuff, and then I do other stuff on other platforms, but I use the Facebook Live because it's a good platform to be able to connect with people that way. So, excuse me, I started doing that, and then I noticed like just more and more people are coming and talking to me and giving me ideas. And so it's like, oh, this will be great. This will be able to get me talking more. And then I was shooting one the other day. I'm in my trailer right now, but then I was out by the gully the other day because I was like, oh, I want to give a change of looks. I don't want to always be sitting in here looking so pretty, So I was like, let me go outside. And then I was shooting by the gully. And then across the street in phase 3, which is a real nice area, the trailer park, there's this lady, Mabel Gunwood, and she's 93. She lives in a wheelchair. She can't really come out and do much, but she's got grandbabies. And there was a deflatable bouncy house in the backyard. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if the grandbabies are still in there. And then I started talking about it. And then it became this whole like Scooby-Doo mystery of like, where are the grandbabies? And so now it's kind of funny. I've actually used that like, oh, this is a creative thing. I'm going to write a whole kind of episodic thing where we talk about the grandbabies and where they are and how things have developed. So it's actually given me an opportunity to use this stuff on there to like, it's let me be creative. I'm writing a bunch of stuff. I sit down and I write and I sort of rehearse and create stuff every day. And then I go out and shoot it with a cocktail live. And then I'll go back and I'll start, responding to it. Cause I don't want to be like when the comments are coming up, when you do Facebook Live, you have live comments come up. And I don't want to just sit there and be like, oh, Jill said this, because I just find that it's real boring to watch if other people do it. So what I do is I'm like, I'll get back to all your comments at the end, but right now I just want to, I'm going to talk about what's going on with Sheila Dunbody's grandbabies. And so then I'll go back at the end and I'll just take a couple minutes and comment on different things and say what they say. But every time I'm commenting on them, everybody else is giving me great ideas because they're saying, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I'm using that as an inspiration to then take and go, oh, I want to use that in my next group of things that I'm talking about or my next happy hour. It's like, Passover's right now and then Easter's coming up and Jesus is real busy and you can't get eggs anywhere to die. So like that's going to be a whole storyline. And then I'm just going to keep sort of doing these things and it gives me an opportunity to be creative because I'm not on stage right now, but that shouldn't preclude me from basically being on stage. So I get on and I would be doing a show right now anyway. Might as well come on and do something that's going to keep me practice, keep me exercise, keep me going and creative. And I think that's fun. And everybody needs sort of a collective outlet right now. And the social media gives us an opportunity to be able to do that in a way that we never did before. So, and I know a lot of people are being so amazing. They're going out there and they're like playing their songs and testing material that they've written. And I think it is one of the coolest the coolest things about this, yes, the sky's falling, everybody's doom and gloom, and we see the numbers and it's hard, but we have an opportunity now from our side of the fence to be like, well, we're just going to flood y'all with creative material. And it can be, obviously we're seeing the big stars do it, which is great, but this also gives the people that have like a following of 20 people to get out there and be like, I'm going to play a song. I'm going to write a poem. I'm going to do some, like, it just gives people an opportunity to keep being creative. Because I look at it this way. Everybody has said, oh, I wish I had more time. Oh, when I get this done, then I'll do that. We've all said that. I do not want to look back at this time and be like, I didn't do anything. Look at all that time I wasted. Because to me, I have to look at the silver lining of this part being like, we got a gift. We have a gift of time. Yes, the money is tight. Yes, people are getting sick. Yes, there's all this stuff. Yes, we're sitting there in our trailer with our kids that we really can't stand and probably don't remember their names, but at least it gives us opportunity to sit down and figure out, like, I get to be creative every day. It's part of my thing. It's not like, oh, I have to be. It's like, I get to be. And I hear all these people like, oh, I'm watching 95 months of Netflix right now. I'm like, I haven't turned on the damn TV once. I was like, I have an opportunity to do something fun and creative. Hell, let's do it. So to me, I'm looking at the fun part of this. I'm looking at it like it's a game. I've been given all this time and then just like, go make whatever you want to make. And you have an opportunity and a platform to get it out to people in ways that you didn't have before. So this was kind of fun of it for me.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's super inspirational. We need one more piece of advice from you though, before I let you go to your cocktail hour.
Tell me.
Okay.
What's in the glass, by the way? What's in the cup?
It's got cranberry juice in it because it's good for the digestive tract. Maybe there's vodka in the bottom of it, but you can't see the vodka on account of the fact that it's clear. So it's just like cranberry juice. Because in the early 1800s, Jane Judi Dench invented urinary tract health by making her own cranberries that she squeezed from a tree that was in the backyard. And she's like, look at her now. She's only like 63 years old. Like, she lasts forever. She's real talented. Did you see Cats? She lifted her leg in Cats. A regular 63-year-old couldn't do that, let alone lick whatever it was that she licked after that. But they cut away right in time, so we didn't look at it. Sorry, what's the question?
I want to know in this pandemic, what piece of Tupperware should we all have?
Oh man, there's so many good. Well, first of all, I love the sippy cup because, like, if you're gonna do it, it's got the vagina seal, so when the straw comes out, it don't leak. Look, you can do that and don't leak. It's up like a vagina, and it's great. Like if you're drinking and driving, and you hit a baby or whatever, you're not gonna be like, oh no, I spilled my drink as well, because you already have to clean the grill of the car in the front for whatever you hit. But this way, the inside of the car stays nice and clean. And then also, like, I love the Tupperware wine opener because everybody needs that. Because right now, everybody's like, oh, gotta drink some wine. And so that's real fun. So then you drink the wine and then you're like, how am I gonna get open because I can't use my teeth no more? Because most people around here don't have all their teeth. So they're like, oh no, and it's all gums and everything.
Right.
So this way, if you have the wine opener, in the glove box when you're driving or wherever it is, you can be like, oh, I'm so parched. Let me reach into the stash of wine that I got in the back and then put it there and then get the one in the glove box and open it up. And before that light turns green, you're ready to start drinking. It's real good. Things like that,
I love that. I love that. And how do people find that?
If people want to get Tupperware, people just want to come online and follow me. If you just go to dixiestupperwareparty.com, you'll see me and you'll see all the information. And when the show starts going again, you'll see all the places that we're going to be and the places to buy tickets. And then you can buy, there's a little link that says buy bowls. So you can always click on that at the top of the website and that'll take you to the Tupperware ordering site. But then I'm on all the other social medias too. If you want to just stop in and say hi and share a cocktail with me during happy hour, that's what I'm there for. I found that I'm going to do box and wine because you know how people are unboxing things on the internet and making all this stuff. I'm going to unbox boxed wine. I think that'll be fun because I know what's inside it. Wine. I already know. I already investigated it.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Are you kidding me? Y'all make me tingly, my Jesus place. I appreciate you being so neighborly. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good. You're supporting all the creativity of so many people, and that makes my heart smile.
Oh, well, you're making me smile, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Trixie.
Kids, you take care now.
All right. Have a cocktail for me.
I will. I have several to test them.
Yes, of course. Of course. Thank you so much.
Angels.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so Terry Stratton is going to, Terry Stratton will be showing you off stage. She's working on that right now.
There she goes.
There we go. Fantastic. Thanks, Terry. So next up, We have something that's not quite that frenetic. Next up,
No, that was really inspirational. Yeah.
It was.
Hey, do you know what? Sorry, Joey, I just need to
Go ahead.
point out that Amanda's name is now Amanda Toy Johnson. I always knew that we were sisters. Sorry.
I love it. So we have a couple other guests that are coming on. Excuse me. Sipping my water. We have Padraic Lillis, I'll say his name correctly, coming on, and playwright Judith Leora will be joining us. They're going to tell us a little bit about, first of all, I want Padraic to tell us about the Farm Theater. He's the artistic director of the Farm Theater, and they have a program that I want him to tell us about. So as soon as, there we go. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I'm inspired and a little tired. That was to be so high octane. That was great.
You've got a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I felt like, oh, I can get this out in like 30 seconds. I'm great, and thanks for having us.
This is Christine and Amanda.
Hello.
Hi.
Judith, Christine, and Amanda.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Judith.
I wanted to change my name to Toy Johnson too, but I didn't have control over that.
Excellent name.
Family.
Will you tell us a little bit about the Farm Theater's? I can't remember what it's called.
I'll start with it's the farm. The mission of the farm is to cultivate early career artists, and our main program is the College Collaboration Project. And what we do is we commission early career playwright to write a play. That would be Judith, and that is developed by multiple colleges through one academic year, and they produce it independently, and the playwright we do a workshop in the summer, and then goes to the first production, and the playwright gets to rewrite during rehearsals, and after that production then goes to the next school, and then a final reading in New York. And it's usually picked by the playwright being ready by the theme that they're interested in exploring, and something that colleges and undergrads would want to explore for a year through the development. And
Gotcha.
Sure. And I forgot what I was saying there. Developed through a year through conversation, and also written for where the main characters are 30 years and younger, so that undergraduate actors can achieve it. And this is our 7th commission and 7th project with Judith's play, which is called The Hierarchy of Fish. And it is currently being done and produced and rehearsed at Shenandoah University. And I'm going to say the theme that she picked is, she was looking at free speech versus speech. And it started in the idea of gender identity, and who has the right to claim your identity.
Yeah.
And
Padraic, I'm gonna let Judith tell us about that piece of it. But before we cut to Judith, because I think that she has stepped away for a moment. Here she comes. Hi. So will you tell us, where is Shenandoah University?
It is in Winchester, Virginia, which is in the western corner of Virginia, and about an hour and a half from DC.
Gotcha.
And beautiful. I was just, before they did this, I was a guest artist at Shenandoah, and it's a lovely, great university.
That's fantastic. Judith, will you tell us just really quickly what your play's about?
My play takes place at a college, and it's about a prominent professor who refuses to use the gender appropriate pronoun for a non-binary student. And that leads to a big fight over political correctness, and there's a slushie thrown in someone's face, and someone gets spray painted in the face, and then they all have to figure out what's the difference between freedom of speech and hate speech.
Wow, yeah.
So, and it has about 10 characters, so that was a new challenge to write.
Right.
And it's been an interesting experience doing it on the Zoom.
Yeah, thank you for that segue. So one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on and talk about this, besides the fact that it's a really interesting commissioning program playwrights. What a great opportunity for really anyone at any stage of their career. Is because if I understand this correctly, Padraic, you'll step in and correct me where I'm out of line here. Is that just as you were going into rehearsals? Do I have this correct? Their
first rehearsal was the first day of being online campus. So they've done their whole process will be Zoom.
So they've done all the rehearsals via Zoom.
Yeah.
And it's being produced via Zoom.
And it's being produced via Zoom, and which I will just say that I was directing on the campus at Blythe Spirit, and it shut down about a week before we were supposed to present. And then when we thought, oh, we'll do a ring. And as we worked on it, we found all these theatrical ways. And I kept telling Scott Hudson, who was their director, like, oh, if you do this, you can do that, you know, and sharing everything we discovered. And so as they were doing table work in the first week, waiting to find out if they'd be back on campus, and they turned out they weren't going to be for the semester, they have been more and more theatrical throughout the process, like adding lighting, you know.
Wow.
It's really turned out to be a great vehicle. And we did, because ours was just an invited dress, but there was 150 people watching from the department in all different states. You know, people were in Texas who were in the play, and South Carolina. And
right. And Padraic, that was not Judith's play that you're talking about.
No, that was the Blythe Spirit play. But that was what I think proved, you know, is like proof of concept. And now this one is, because the whole process has been Zoom, they're going to live stream it on Facebook and let everybody be able to watch it, and it's full out, which is nice.
Yeah. I was going to see if I could show. I'm going to share my screen and show a still that you sent me. Let me see if I can do this. Give me just a moment while there it is. So this is just a little screenshot of two of the actors in your production of Blythe Spirit. Am I correct?
Yeah, and it was actually that moment in rehearsal when we discovered it could be theater, because you saw him mix the martini, and then he handed the glass out of screen, and then she reached off stage and brought her glass, and we were like, wait a minute, I think we can make a play, you know, as opposed to a reading.
Fantastic. I love that. That's great. And so Judith, coming back to you, and while we do this, Terry, if you would mind, if you would bring on, this is unplanned. So I'm talking to Terry Stratton, is our stage manager. As I'm sure you found out, Padraic, having a Zoom stage manager is essential.
Yes.
And much like the rest of this whole broadcast today, it's completely unrehearsed. So I'm asking the unseen hand of the magical Miss Terry to bring on Scott Hudson, who is your director. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. See if you can find Scott and bring him on stage. Oh, fantastic! That was so fast. Wow.
Stage managers are so good.
They are. They are. Well, and Terry's exceptional. Hi, Scott.
Hi there, Joey.
Hi. So I'm gonna cut to Judith really quickly, and we're gonna show a clip. Terry, would you just bring up the first clip while Judith is telling us, talking to us about this process, what it's been like. I want to know what it's been like for you, Judith, working on this whole thing, which was supposed to have been for the stage, and it's now being done over Zoom.
Well, what's been super interesting is, I mean, if this had been done for the stage, I would have gone down for 2 days of rehearsal probably and then come back. But instead, because it's, you know, on Zoom, I get to go to rehearsal every night. And so I've really gotten a chance to workshop the play much more extensively than I would have. And what I've discovered is it's not stage theater, and it's not like TV, like it's something in the middle. Like, because it's interesting because you're seeing all close-ups. So it gives you a much more intimate, focused quality in a weird way. Like the stage, you're much more removed. So you can really like follow the arc of one character very closely because they're so close to you. And so it's really made me focus in on the arc of each character and where they go in the play because it's become it's a much more intimate process than what I've had before in a rehearsal.
Judith, have you found yourself doing rewrites to accommodate for Zoom?
I have. It's mostly been like little logistical things. Like I have people say each other's names a lot more because, you know, it's not clear because it's a big cast too. So I have people say, you know, Ashley, which are the two main characters, Sandy, you know, like give me that or do this, or like to get their attention, because otherwise there's too many heads. You can't tell who's talking to each other. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, so as we were talking, we're just watching this little two-hander scene here. And Terry, would you bring up the second clip? And I'd like to ask Scott to come in and just talk to us about what it's been like for you to stage this brand new play, which is always a challenge in and of itself, to work with a piece that's brand new, and then having to do the entire thing via Zoom.
It's been a very organic process to, I think, anyone who has a liking for table work, that beginning process that we do in rehearsals, or some do. And because this is a new play, we've just really focused on the story, trying to catch that arc, all from a table read, and we're seeing a very organic process where usually the actors would be ready to leave the table, but we don't. We start to concentrate on the frame and how we tell the story within this frame, and what theatrical things that we can do that support not only the story, but in some sense the style as well. We're not in any costumes here. Some actors don't have their backgrounds or their lighting, but so this is a process of it. And the students, we found it so rewarding.
I'm just laughing as you're talking about the theatricality of it. We were just seeing a pillow fight between two isolated squares, which is hilarious.
And they're in two different states.
That's great. Fun.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, I'd have to say it's a lot like it's an extended table work and then a glorified table work. It's the best way to say it. And figuring out like eye contact, a lot of trial and errors, and the students have Post-its around. So they're, like we said about the acting, they're actually, it's all imaginative, because they're not looking at the screen like I am in terms of you talking with you. They're actually using their ear to hear the meanings and create the impulses from their Post-its, which create the illusion that they're actually talking to another person. So it's a whole nother form, and they're gaining so much for what is lost. And there's something that it really is empowering, that they're discovering something new for themselves and how they experience acting, and a brand new play on top of that.
Yeah, that's so great. One of my favorite things about theater people, I've always said that we all share common DNA, which is that we're all scrappy and resourceful. And if ever we've needed that little strand of theatrical DNA at any time, it's right now.
Yeah, Joey, these, you know, not only are we, you know, here's the limitations, and then yes, we'll find out how to use it. But these students they went away on spring break and they haven't been back. So really, they're now in their childhood homes, and their clothing, their belongings, everything is in the dorms or in their apartments. So they're coming up with, you know, their poor parents, I don't know what their parents are thinking. It must be like, you haven't grown up, because they're grabbing props from the house, and one of them is using their mother's dress, and, you know, a cocktail dress, so yes, they're being very resourceful in a most limited way, but still, like little kids, they're just playing full out, because of one, the adult of the, the meaning of the story is so personal to them. This play is so personal, and it's giving such a sense of purpose and empowerment.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I forgot, I've got another little clip here. This is a behind the scenes clip. Padraig, I think this is from Blythe Spirit.
This is Blythe Spirit, and the actress who played Ruth made this video of her pre-setup, because you'll see it's very much like it's like a live radio show, television of the 1950s. You can see the prop table she's set up for herself. And
great. Give me a moment. I'm going to figure out how to share this. Okay. Oh, great. There it is.
So for anybody wondering what a tech week in quarantine looks like, this is it. We're performing our show over Zoom. Oh, there's Amy. We're rehearsing our play over Zoom, and we're going to be putting it up this weekend. So we have our lamps, that's where I sit, prop table, and this is my costume rack over here. So for anybody who's interested in what a Zoom tech week looks like, this is your answer.
That's so great. I want to know, sorry, am I back? Yes, we're back. I want to know, does she live on the set? I mean, it looked like you could have stayed Blythe Spirit in that room.
Yeah, it's actually funny, because when Scott's doing something with backdrops for everybody with sheets, but when we first went into everybody's house, you realized, oh, my play looked more like what's happening here, a solid background behind. And Rachel Lewis, who played Ruth, is actually watching right now. When we went online and you saw people, you realized everybody's house looked a little different, and hers did. It was this impulse to be like, oh, you could sit on the couch and we could see the whole view of the thing, but somebody else, to get privacy, had to be in their basement, and it wouldn't look the same. So we just went with solid background on the wall. But yes, yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
And
that's hilarious.
I wanted to just comment on something that Scott had said about the story and text work. And I also just love that it focus on what is theatrical, like the pillow moment. You're like, okay, the pillow's gonna come in from the screen, and like that's a moment we need for storytelling, that can help. Or the first clip with no sound, when she was pulling up all the props out of the dorm room, and it's like, you find out like what are the essence of things you need for story and space, and putting us right there. And I think that part of it's also great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and for our dramatists who are online with us right now, I just want to reiterate, in case you missed out, this was written written for a group of college students, and it's being performed for college students. And so if you have questions about unions, then there's your answer. These are all non-union actors, yeah, they're not in their theaters, so all the stagehands and lighting people, and anyway, yes. So that's to answer that question. And Judith, I want to come. Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
No, go ahead, Joey.
Okay, Judith, I just wanted to come back to you and just to ask you, would you do this again? I mean, obviously you had no choice in this matter, particularly.
Oh, I think definitely. I mean, obviously everybody wants to see their play on stage.
Sure.
But as far as just like, especially for a play that you're working it out, like it's been an invaluable experience. It's like having 3 or 4 weeks of table work, like at a very advanced level that you usually don't get with the playwright, that you can be there all the time. And I would definitely do it again, especially with a play that is not that physical. If it's a very talky play, like this is perfect. This is a perfect experience. It also makes you think in the future of what you could write for this genre, like what you could write that would actually use this type of setup where you could use actors from all over. And yeah, it starts your brain clicking a little bit.
You know what I just realized, and we've been talking about how a lot of us are on Zoom all the time, all day long. But I just realized, because I was thinking how the logistics of, making sure that people are talking to each other in the right squares. But that if you just organize, maybe you already know this, but if you just organize who signs in order of how you want them on the screen, that solves that problem.
I'm actually writing to Zoom because it doesn't.
It doesn't?
Just so you know, yeah, because it always puts you, so what you do when you ask the audience to watch it in gallery view so they can see who's on stage at the same time, like you saw in the video, but it does this weird thing. You can't control it for the actors because it always puts you second. And so, because I spent 20 minutes trying to solve this problem one day, and every time it was like, no, she's on my left, she's below me, she's, and it's not consistent to their screen, to the actor screen.
Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at us right now, and we're in the order that we were added onto this screen.
Yeah,
No,
and Christine, I'm second.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm.
On your screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting, because on mine, you're top left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Which is what Scott was talking about with the Post-it notes.
Yeah, no.
Then you have to agree where, okay, Christine's here, Scott's here, Joey's here, and you just have to pretend they're there.
Right.
I have a student assistant director, and it's been nice to can you solve that problem for me? I'll go away and have a break, and we would have to try the eye level thing to find. It was a trial and error in some ways, especially when you have a play of there's characters on stage at one point, and
then all of you. So there are 10 actors, you said, right? Yeah. And then Judith and Scott and Padraig all at the same time.
I mean, we hide ourselves now when they go into performance. We stop video so that we just lurk.
We have a stage manager that calls places, and we all go off screen, and the action doesn't start until everyone is off screen and their mics are in.
Wow.
Then we'll hear action.
Do you yell things involuntarily, like, no, not like that?
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Well, I hope that Zoom will come out with a theatrical edition of their platform.
Yeah.
I think that's now essential for them to come up with. Right?
What Christine said was that's the feature I would like the most.
Wow, that was so cool of you to pick up on that, Christine.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing this this comment from Donna Hoke, who is one of our fantastic
hi, Donna.
representatives. She's saying for readings, it's helpful to have actors change their names to their character names on the screen. That's a brilliant idea.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Scott
has them doing that, and it's very helpful.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet that's true. Yeah, I noticed the screen grab that Padraig sent me of Ruth and Charles that they had changed their names in that screen grab. I noticed that was
amazing.
Very clever.
What a fantastic thing you're doing. I just am so impressed and inspired by the creativity that you've come up with to go ahead and tell the story that you need to tell.
I think where this can actually really serve us in the future, if we come back to a place, but I'm already thinking of, I'd like to have a reading and some other actors that will be remote. One will be in California, one will be in New York, and we will be having a 3-week workshop, but now we can do work prior to, before we meet up. We can do the table work. We can actually do the table work in a very concentrated way. And then when we meet up, and that I think that can be very cost effective. And I mean, can really help out on a lot of things. So it's something I've learned about it.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. Yeah, Judith, I don't know whether you've ever had you ever used Zoom in like a rehearsal setting before?
No. So it was a brand new concept that we were doing this.
Yeah, Padraig, had you ever done that?
What? Yeah, I wanted to say we tried something. No, I hadn't, but we tried something in August when we do a workshop with the first draft of the play. We do a workshop in New York with New York actors, and the schools are invited. And one school couldn't come, and I've learned a valuable lesson. We tried to include them through Zoom by having 2 different laptops in the room so that we could still be live.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't work. I mean, it worked okay. You know, I'm just going to be honest. It wasn't great, because it's so much better when everyone's in their own Zoom box, as opposed to trying to include somebody from the outside while 10 people are in the room. And so I wouldn't have learned that. I would have thought, oh, we got to get better. But because of this circumstance, I went, oh, if I ever do it again, I'm going to ask everybody to be on their own laptop, even if we can be in the same physical space.
Yeah. Christine and Amanda, have you guys ever, have y'all ever had somebody zooming into a rehearsal? I know that this is a thing for some people, but I'm just wondering, had you ever encountered that before?
Well, because I've been on the road for the past year and a half, I've had to do some rehearsals where I'm the one on the screen. You know, so we were rehearsing something where all of the actors and this piece that I wrote with Bobby Cronin, they were in New York in a studio, and I was somewhere in some hotel. And so I was able to watch the whole rehearsal that way and give any thoughts. It's not, I agree, it's not the ideal situation, but technology allowed me to be present for part of the process anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. I've done it a couple of times in rehearsals. And again, while it's not perfect, you know, I had actors rehearsing a song that I'd written with a composer, and he zoomed in and he was able to say, like, no, that tempo should be this, and, you know, try taking that note like that. So it was very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Padraic and Judith and Scott, you've sort of gone from that level and kind of taken it to the next level with some of these ideas. So interesting. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, and congratulations to the students.
What an awesome commissioning program.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
It's really invaluable.
Great to go from college to college too. Amazing.
It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All 3 of you for being here.
So Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to say a bunch of thank you since we're right at 6:30. Thank you to Dixie Longate, and thank you to the fabulous Terry Stratton and Zach Turner, who has been live tweeting for us tonight, and everybody at the Guild, because oh my gosh, you have no idea how many people actually have a hand in making this happen. As rustic as it is, there are lots of people who make this happen, and I wouldn't want to do it ever unless I had Amanda and Christine here with me. So thank you guys.
Thank you. I promise to read my notes better next week.
That's all right. I did get them out sort of late this week, so I will do better.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us.
Great week, everybody. Stay safe.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.